Yo, what's up guys? It's Robin here, and today this video is going to be my set 6.5 comps guide. I'm releasing this one day before the launch of 6.5, so hopefully you guys have something to use for the launch of 6.5. Hopefully this will help you out. I've been playing tons of PvE and talking with other challenger players and my Discord, and I created this guide. These are the comps that I've been playing the most. I'm going to go through each and every one of the comps. Of course, not every comp is listed. There's probably going to be a ton more comps that's going to come out once it launches, but these are most of the comps that I've been playing. Most of the comps are revolving around 4-cost carries, and there are a few reroll comps as well. You know, most of these comps have a core set of units, whether it's like 2 or 3 units, and then you surround the other units. The other units are pretty flex that you surround the core units with. Just try to stay more flexible, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I get into the comps list. I'm gonna put the imager in the description below, so you can see, you can use this as a guide when you play TFT. So just as like a, I'm gonna do like a brief rundown of the comps. So first of all, we have Bodyguard JHIN and Bruiser JHIN, basically 2 variations of the JHIN sniper comp. Then we have Debonair DRAVEN carry. This is the DRAVEN comp. And then we have Innovator Flex, where you play 5 Innovators with like 3 other units depending on your items. Example is Innovators, 5 Innovator with JHIN, 5 Innovator with carrying Aurelia, 5 Innovator carrying Seraphine or AHRI. And then we have Syndicate AHRI, a comp around AHRI. And then we have TRYNDAMERE reroll, and we have Twitch reroll, and we have ASHE reroll. And then we have SIVIR carry here. So the first comp I want to talk about is JHIN. So for the JHIN comp, the core units are going to be JHIN, AHRI, and 1 sniper. Probably MF, most likely. But it's pretty similar to the set 6 JHIN comp, where the core units is going to be JHIN, AHRI, plus a sniper. But then the frontline and utility utility units are going to be a little bit different now that there's no more Janna. You're going to be playing other units. But I'll talk about Bodyguard JHIN first. The bodyguards that you're going to play is going to be Braum, and most likely Leona. And then because you're playing Braum, you do want to play the Morgana to activate Enchanter. And since you're playing Morgana and Braum, you're 2 out of 3 Syndicate, it's good to play Zyra to round out the 3 Syndicate. And because you're playing Zyra, you can play one random Scholar. Soko is probably the best. So this is gonna be the JHIN comp. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. So like JHIN, AHRI, MF, and then bodyguards, and then syndicates, and then scholars, right? Just like to link everything together. You know, BIS is the same as set 6, you know, IE, Last Whisper, GS probably. And then tank items, you can put it on Braum, or you can put it on Leona, or you can put it on Morgana. It doesn't really matter. Instead of Soko, you can also play any other scholar, such as Renata, even Syndra. And then instead of MF, you can play Caitlyn, you can play Ashe, you can also play Ziri. It's up to you. But I think MF is probably the best. Alright, so besides the bodyguard variation, I'm going to be talking about the bruiser variation. So for the bruiser variation, you basically take out Braum and Leona, and you play Vi plus Sedge. So, you know, that's basically it. You just replace the bodyguards with Vi and Sedge, and now you have bruisers. You can also, right here, you can replace MF for Ashe. And you can get into 3 Syndicate if you really want to, but it's not that important. There's a lot of variations you can play with this. Like you can take out Ashe for like Caitlyn, and then you can take out Morgana for like Jace. And then this way you can get in 4 enforcers. With this, you can take out Zyra and play, you know, Renata, any scholar, Renata. You can take out Soko and play Syndra. You know, you can even take out Sejuani and play like Tahm Kench for the bruiser. So it's actually very, very flexible. Just keep in mind that the core units are just going to be JHIN, AHRI, and like 1 sniper. And then you just fill out the rest with whatever you can. Either bodyguard frontline or bruiser frontline, plus scholars, plus enchanters, basically. You know, you can even, if you don't hit upgraded bruisers or bodyguards, you can even play like Alistar. And maybe play like a Colossus frontline with Alistar. And maybe like a Galio or something like this. This variation is probably not the best, but, you know, if you do hit an Alistar 2 and a Galio, it's probably better than like a Vi 1, Sedge 1, you know what I mean? Next comp I'm going to talk about is the DRAVEN comp. So for DRAVEN, you do want to try to get VIP Debonair in. So in order to activate VIP, you do need to play 3 Debonairs. So you're going to be carrying DRAVEN. And the 3 Debonairs that you always want to be playing is going to be Leona and Syndra. So because you're playing Leona, you do want to play a bodyguard. And the best bodyguard is going to be Braum. And because you're playing Syndra, you do want to play a scholar. So that scholar can be Soko, Renata, Zyra. Any one of these 3 is fine. If you do, Zyra is probably the easiest one to hit. And if you do play Zyra, again, you're 1-off Syndicate, so it's good to play Morgana to activate the Syndicate. And then always remember that you want to play 1 challenger with DRAVEN. The best challenger is probably Camille, just so you can get Clockwork in. So you can play Camille plus AHRI for the more attack speed. And this is probably just the DRAVEN DEBONAIR comp. You don't have to play Camille. Like, let's say you hit like a Kai'Sa and you have a Morello. You can play Kai'Sa with Morello and just like not play the Ori and play someone else. Instead of Ori, maybe you have a Senna too. You can play a Senna instead to activate Enchanter instead of Ori. But I think the most standard variation is going to be Camille plus Ori. And then the items you want on DRAVEN, you know, just standard AD items, you know, IE, Last Whisper, GS, Ginsu's, BT, Deathblade, Runons, whatever. And then the tank items, you just put it on, you can put it on Braum, Morgana, or Leona. So yeah, this is the DRAVEN comp. So just keep in mind, just play around, DRAVEN, Syndra, Leona plus 1 challenger, probably like this. And then you just plug and play. You know, let's say you don't hit a Braum 2, you can just play like Blitz for the bodyguard. And then for the Scholar, you know, you can just play like a Renata. And then even for the challenger, maybe you can play like a Quinn for the challenger. It's not even that bad. And then you go from there, right? Like you don't have to play like the what I put in this comp list, but just know that you're playing around DRAVEN, Leona, and Syndra. Next comp I'm gonna be talking about is the 5 Innovator Flex. So for 5 Innovator Flex, you're gonna be playing around these 5 innovators: Ezreal, Echo, Seraphine, preferably Jace, and then the last one's gonna be Zilean. 5 Innovator is actually way stronger in set 6.5 compared to set 6 because now Echo is an Innovator and Echo also has Scrap. So Echo and Ezreal have the same traits, so it's such an easy transition from early game to late game, and it's also like it's just like a huge spike. Playing around these units, the units that you play around these 5 innovators really depends on your items. Let's say you have AD items, you can play a lot of variations of AD comps. You can, let's say one variation is the JHIN comp, right? So you play JHIN, and since you're playing JHIN, you probably want to play 1 sniper. You play 1 sniper with MF, and then you have 1 more slot. You're probably missing a frontline, right? So you can just play like a random buy or like a random Braum, and then you just stack the items on JHIN, and then now you have like the JHIN innovator comp. Let's say you don't hit JHIN and you hit someone else. Like let's say you hit Aurelia. So you can play Aurelia here, and then now that you have 3 scrap, I like to play Blitz for 4 scrap to get the extra shield. And you can play something like this. If you want to activate Striker, you can take out Vi and play Gnar. That way you get 2 Socialite and you get Striker. So this is a variation of, you know, Aurelia innovators, i.e. Last Whisper BT. Let's see something like this. And then now you have Aurelia innovators. You know, another variation is going to be, you know, take out Gnar, take out Blitz, take out Aurelia. Another variation maybe is around Kha'Zix. So you play Kha'Zix, and then you put the items on Kha'Zix, i.e. Last Whisper, you know, BT, whatever. And then you already get the Sin with Echo. And in the other 2 units, it doesn't really matter. Like if you want more frontline, you know, you can play Braum plus Leona. You can play Vi for Enforcer, and you can play Tahm Kench for Bruiser. Like you can do a lot of stuff, right? You know, maybe you just had like you want to play Ori for Clockwork, and you have a Morgana too. So you just play like a Morgana to activate Enchanter. Like there's a lot of stuff you could do with this comp. So yeah, this is like a Kha'Zix variation. And then let's say you have AP items. Then you can just play the traditional Seraphine Ori carry. So it's like you just play Ori here. You can play Vi, you can play Tahm Kench, you can play Sedge, and then you just put the AP items on, you know, whoever you hit first. Seraphine, let's say you hit Seraphine, Shojin Rabadons, or you hit Orianna, Shojin, Archangels, whatever. And you just play Seraphine Ori carry with 5 innovators. Let's say you have AP items, and you actually hit like a Victor. You can also play, let's say you also play a Victor here, and you can play like a Soko or something, and then you can, Soko and Victor combo is actually extremely strong, because having Victor cast right away is actually really good, and then you just put the items on Victor. So as you can see, 5 Innovator is actually very flex. Depending on what items you have, and what augments you have, you can either go like an AD innovator or you can go to AP innovator. And basically you're just playing around 5 innovators here. You know, you want to activate Clockwork by playing Ori or JHIN. You want to activate, you know, you can play more, you want to activate like Enforcer with Vi a lot of the times, and then because you're playing Vi, you want to activate Bruiser, so Tahm Kench is probably the best one, but you can also play like Sedge or Rek'Sai or whatever. And then because you have Seraphine, you can play more Socialites if the Socialite Hex is good. Like you can play Senna or you can play Gnar. There's just like a lot of stuff you can play with Innovators, and that's why Innovators like really strong this set. Next comp I'm going to talk about is Syndicate AHRI. We're going to be playing around AHRI this comp. So you can play AHRI, and when you play AHRI, I think it's really easy to get it fit in 5 Syndicate. So you want to play Darius, Braum, Morgana, and then Zyra. So with this, you have 5 Syndicate. This is going to be your core, because you have Zyra, you want to play 1 more Scholar. So, you know, something like Renata is pretty good. And then because you're playing AHRI, you do want to probably get in like one Arcanist. DRAVEN, Victor's probably the best one. And then because you're playing Morgana, you can play Enchanter, like Ori, something like this. For AHRI, There's like a there's like a lot of different builds you can do. If you want to do like a more bursty RE, you can do blue buff JGIE, like a traditional like Lux from set 6, but it's gonna be RE. You can also do like a more tanky build, like something like Morello plus Gunblade, and then try to like wither them down. You can also like do like a second row like middle RE where you can guarantee to hit like the whole board. But then right here you probably want QSS, so you want to get QSS plus, you know, an AP item probably, and then like blue buff. You know, you can have Static Shiv as well, Ginsu's, Giant Slayer, just like whatever AP items you can get on RE is good. You don't have to play the Victor here. You can just play a better, like, you can play another unit that you hit. Like, you don't want to splash in a random like Ziggs or something. 2 Arcanists, it's barely any difference. Over here you can probably play like a Senna for like 3 enchanters. What you can also do is probably take out these units and play 4 Arcanists if you think you need more damage. So like Malzahar, Victor, and, you know, like a random Ziggs. Now this way you have 5 Syndicate, 4 Arcanists, 2 Bodyguards. But just remember that you can't get in Scholar if you want to play in 4 Arcanists. So if, you know, maybe you have an Arcanist Augment, then you can fit in 4 Arcanists with a Scholar. But the core units are just going to be these 5 units, and you just plug and play whatever you hit. One thing to note is that because Ahri, in order for Ahri to hit backline, you do have to second row Ahri. So usually putting Ahri in the middle here can guarantee you to hit backline and try, probably kill backline. You can also put Ahri here or Ahri here. Sometimes you can even frontline Ahri depending on your items. The next comp I want to talk about is the SIVIR comp. So the tricky thing about SIVIR, she's Hex Tech Striker. The tricky thing about Striker is that these Striker units don't really pair well together. Like, you never, I think late game, if you want to cap your board, you never want to play more than 2 Strikers. Because when you play 4 Strikers, you're forced to play Aurelia, Gnar, and Rek'Sai or Jarvan. And they just, like, don't really go well together. There's, like, too many, like, off carries. And for SIVIR, you kind of want, like, a really tanky frontline. So what I found successful was to play around, the Striker that you play is going to be Gnar. And because you're playing Gnar, you probably want to play more Socialite. So, like, playing, you know, Seraphine plus Senna, I found to be pretty good. And then because you're playing Senna, you want to mix up more enchanters, so like Morgana plus Ori. And then for frontline, you I like Vi and Sedge probably the best. So this is the comp I came up with. You know, for SIVIR, it's what I call Enchanter SIVIR. Like for SIVIR, the core units are going to be SIVIR, 1 Striker, and then everything else is pretty flex. Utility plus frontline. You can play 4 Striker SIVIR, but that's like a very, very cheap version, and the highest you're gonna get is probably a 4th. Which is fine, but if you want to cap out your board, you do want to just get out of the Strikers and play around just 2 Strikers. And I think Gnar is probably the best one, because Gnar is like a good tank, and he provides Socialite. So I like to play like this variation. Wherever the Socialite hex is, if it's like front 2 row Socialite, you can just put Vi on the Socialite and it's pretty good. But if it's back 2 rows, you can put SIVIR or Ori on the Socialite, so it's fine. Items you want on SIVIR, I really like Ginsu's on SIVIR. And you do want the traditional like IE Last Whisper. So, and then the tank items you can either put on, put it on Vi, you can put it on Morgana, or you can put it on Sejuani. It's like whatever you end up hitting first, right? So another variation I can think of is probably just swap the bruisers with bodyguards. So let's try doing that. Let's swap Vi and Sejuani for Braum plus Leona. And then since we're playing Braum Leona and then we play Morgana, you know, as always, we can play the Morgana Braum Zyra combo. So you play Zyra, and because you're playing Zyra, you can probably just fit in like a Renata or something. You can play like this is like a bodyguard variation of SIVIR, right? And like a lot of units are droppable, you know, like you can maybe take out Gnar for Aurelia as your other striker, and then you can take out Leona for Blitz to get scrap. You know, you don't have to play Morgana. You can take out Morgana, you can take out Renata, you can play like Soko plus, you know, maybe you can take out Seraphine and play like Alistar. This way you get Hex Tech with SIVIR. So just like keep in mind, SIVIR is like a little bit harder to create a comp list around, because you don't even need 2 strikers sometimes. You can just play SIVIR plus like good units surrounding SIVIR. So frontline, utility, whatever. And I think that's it for all the 4-cost carries. I think we talked about all the 4-cost carries already. Ahri, DRAVEN, Aurelia, JHIN, Ori, Seraphine, and SIVIR. The units I didn't talk about yet is like maybe a Kha'Zix carry comp, but usually you can just play 5 Innovator Kha'Zix. And there's also probably a Renata carry comp that I didn't talk about yet, but I haven't tested much out with Renata carry yet, so I'm not going to include it in the comp list, but I'm sure there is a Renata carry comp somewhere. But I'm going to be moving on to the reroll comps. First up is going to be Tryndamere Reroll. So for Tryndamere Reroll, you're going to be going level 7, and you're going to be slow rolling level 7 for Tryndamere 3 usually. The comp is going to be Tryndamere, and because you're playing Tryndamere, you do want to play Warwick, because they both have Chemtech Challenger. Usually you want to play Camille for the other Challenger, and then the last Challenger, because you're playing 3 Challengers, the last Challenger you're probably playing is going to be Quinn. In order to activate Chemtech, the best Chemtech is probably Zac. Mid-game Chemtech is probably Zac. And since you're playing Zac, you want to play the best bruiser with Zac, which is Vi. And then we have one more slot for our level 7. And the last spot is probably going to be a Clockwork, like Orianna. And this is going to be the comp that you're going to be rerolling on for level 7. Items on Tryndamere, I like IE, Last Whisper, and BT. You want a healing item on Tryndamere for sure. So it's BT Hodge +2 usually. And then the tank items, you most likely you can put it on Vi, or you can put it on Zac, whoever you want. And before you like since you're gonna be rolling at 7, you're not guaranteed to hit Vi and Ori. So before you hit Vi, you can play any other bruiser. You can play Sejuani, you can play Rek'Sai, and before you hit Orianna, you can play Zilean. So this is like the cheap variation. But then once you hit the Vi and Ori, you want to sub it out. And at level 7, you are gonna be rolling for Tryndamere 3. You know, you might get a Warwick 3 and a Zac 3 or a Quinn 3 as well. So hold those units as well. But when you hit Tryndamere 3, you push level 8, and at level 8, I like to play Jace for the Enforcer. It's a good pairing with Vi. Instead of Jace, you can also play like a Senna to activate Enchanter and Socialite. Instead of Senna, you can just play a good unit. You can play like, you know, a Seraphine. You can play like a random Renata. And because you have Renata, maybe you can take out Clockwork for like Scholar or something, for like Silco, stuff like that. But it's pretty flex, the last spot here. Next up is Twitch Reroll. It's the exact same comp as in set 6, but it's actually stronger now because Echo is an Innovator as well. So you can easily fit in 5 Innovator when you push levels. So the comp is going to be Twitch, Singed, Camille, Warwick, and Zilean, right? This is going to be your level 5 while you're slow rolling. On your bench, you're gonna want to hold Echoes and Ezreal 3s. Once you get Twitch 3, Singed 3, you know, Camille 3, Ezreal 3, whatever, you push levels. So you add in Ezreal here, and you add an Echo. This is the comp at level 7. Now that Echo's an Innovator, when you push to level 8, you can easily play a Seraphine, and then now you have 5 Innovator. Items, same thing, IE, Last Whisper, Runons, and then you can put the tank items on Singed or Camille. Pretty easy to play. So you just slow roll 5 for all 1 cost 3 stars, then you push levels. Pretty easy. Alright, next up is going to be ASHE Reroll. So ASHE Reroll is a new reroll comp. It's going to be revolving around ASHE. And then because ASHE is a Syndicate, you want to play 5 Syndicate, which is pretty easy to fit in. Darius, Braum, and then Morgana, and then Zyra. And then because you're playing ASHE, you want to play 1 random sniper. The best sniper is going to be Jhin. And then because you're playing Jhin, you want to play Ori. And then because you're playing Zyra, you want to play a Scholar, right? So you can just play like a Renata. Something like this. So this is the ASHE reroll comp. Items you want on ASHE, probably Ginsu's, DV, Last Whisper. ASHE scales off AD. Her ability scales off AD, so DV is pretty good. But you can also do IE as well. So basically, any AD attack speed item is good on ASHE. So this is the final comp you want to aim for. But of course, when you're rerolling ASHE, you want to be rerolling at level 6. So you're not gonna get this board that fast. So I included like a board that you're gonna have. What your board is gonna look like at level 6. Usually when you reroll for ASHE. So it's no Jhin, no Orianna, no Renata, probably no Braum either, right? So it's probably going to be Darius plus like Blitz. And then the early Scholar you can play is probably Syndra. And the early Sniper is probably like Caitlyn. So this is a sample level 6 board you're going to be rolling for. You're going to be mainly rolling for Zyra 3 and ASHE 3. But if you get Syndra 3, you can also just play Syndra as the Scholar. And once you hit ASHE 3, Zyra 3, you can push levels and then try to get Morgana and Braum as soon as possible. And then try to get Jhin and Ori in as soon as possible. Just push levels. And then there you go. Pretty easy. Tank items go on Morgana or Braum. And that's it for my set 6.5 comps list. Just a quick overview. You know, Jhin carry, Bodyguard Jhin, Bruiser Jhin, Draven carry, revolving around Debonairs. 5 Innovator flex, Jhinnovators if you have AD, Aurelia if you have AD, Seraphine or Ori if you have AP, Syndicate Ahri, playing around Ahri, 5 Syndicate Ahri, and then SIVIR carry, which is usually SIVIR plus 1 Striker plus Frontline plus Utility. This is going to be Bruiser SIVIR. This is going to be set SIVIR Enchanter Bruiser. This is going to be SIVIR Bodyguard. And then we have Tryndamere reroll, we have Twitch reroll, and we have ASHE reroll. So hopefully this video can help you guys out for the launch of 6.5. If you have any questions, or if I'm missing any comps, drop in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.